you, mate. Look, a lot of change, right? A lot of change. Let's forget about the past now. Let's look at the present and the future. The present is that Daniel Levy is no longer in charge, which is what what you guys at the top of the panel here have been calling for. You've got your initial outcome. Obviously, you might want more. You want more clarity on it. Do you expect Tottenham's? Sava's right. Like this, he didn't mention obviously new manager, right? New players, like a lot of first team players, new technical team, new coaches, new everything, and now new board members as well. Do you expect everything to be in place by January? I mean, it's over to Thomas Frank and his team now for the team what's happening on the pitch, but all the stuff that's happening off of it. Do you expect us to be ready by January, Lubo?
I would hope so. This is £500 million plus business, so you've got to. These guys have got to hit the ground running. What I think is really encouraging is that the word coming out in the quotes that are linked to the Lewis family are that they want success. And I think it's going to be important that that they all align together from the top right the way down to the bottom, because you look at successful clubs everywhere, and they're all in tune, literally from top to bottom. From the owner down to the tea lady, and everybody wants success. Everyone's pulling together, and for me, that's the important thing. So yes, really important. Looks like it's just me on my own now, and I'm really looking forward to the next few
I was only
months.
joking, Lubo. I just wanted to go because
That's
everyone
all
else
right.
did.
That's all right.
As well.
That's okay. And you still? How do you feel about it?
I just want a club that actually has a plan. I don't know what the plan is with Frank still. I still don't know. Is he here just to get us mid-table? Is he here to win a trophy this season? Is he here to try and just stay in Europe? You look at every manager under this ownership. Redknapp got us top four. But they didn't want to push on. Poch got us top four, nearly won a trophy. They didn't want to push on with him. Mourinho came in to win a trophy. He gets to a final, he's sacked. Conte came in, turned the whole season around, turned Harry Kane around from a player that looked like he didn't want to be here anymore. We got top four, we didn't push on with him. Ange comes in, all right, look, did what he did, wins a trophy. We didn't want to push on with him. For me, it's a case of, are we going to have a manager and genuinely push on with that manager? And the truth is, you only really know the shit hits the fan. We saw with Arteta, when the shit hit the fan, they stuck with him and they kept throwing money at it. Now they've got the best squad they've had since Wenger. They've got a very, very good squad now. At Spurs, us and Man United, we throw money at it, but we change manager. Throw money at it, change manager. If Frank's the guy, then they've got to stick with him. Even when the shit hits the fan, when the fans start turning on Frank, which we do as a fan base, when results go bad, we turn on the manager. It's all great in the first 6 months, but once they hit that sticky area, the fans very quickly change. So for me to really believe in this new setup, you've got to stick with the guy and keep backing him. Even when, let's say we finish 10th with this current squad, go and buy another 4 top players, build on it. Get rid of the ones that aren't doing it. If Odebert isn't doing it, get rid of him. Clearly, Matthias Tell, he's not in the Champions League squad. That's some signal that Frank sent out. Right, then get rid of him. So it's impossible to answer now. I'll be able to answer when the going gets tough if they've actually got a plan and they're sticking to it. That's the truth. If they stick with him when the going gets tough, then you know there's a plan. If there isn't a tough period and Frank just keeps taking us forward, then they've got to keep backing it until he gets it over the line. So time will tell us if this is going to be different or not. But I think it is. I think it will be different.
I think the questions to be asked now is this the first move regarding Enoch selling the club? Or is this a situation where the Lewis kids are going to run the show now and they want success? And if they do, if that is the case, then you've got to look on it as a positive sign. Otherwise, what's the point of getting rid of Levy? So you've got to look at it as really positive for the football front, for the football side.
Levy couldn't continue as chairman, mate. his sell-by date had come. His time was up. He had to go. I said this for a number of shows. He's done. Joe Lewis's sell-by date is up now. He has to go. He cannot be here anymore. He's got to that's it. You're done. You're 88. You're in the Bahamas drinking pina coladas, eating lobster, and having bunga bunga parties with Berlusconi, most probably. Right? He's got. See you later. You're done. Let the new blood come in. Let your kids take over or sell it to the next ownership. And you know, when people say, "Be careful what you wish for," they say, you know, what does "you've got your Tottenham back" means? It means that we no longer have to have the status quo. Something has to change. And I said it on the first show we ever did. We might end up with a worse owner. We might end up with a better owner. We might end up with a similar owner. But it's whether you want to take a risk and roll the dice because you're fed up of this. And for me, and I think a lot of fans, they want to roll the dice and say, we just want something different because we don't like the same old, same old. And it could go either way. I'm under no illusion that this is going to be brilliant.
Still, I 100% agree with you. You don't know what you're going to get until you get it, and you don't know what you've got until it's gone, right? But the reality is that we are maybe walking into a world right now where Daniel Levy is the stumbling block to a reinvigorated Lewis family. But you know what? Daniel Levy was only ever an employee of the Lewis system anyway, and so let's be entirely frank. If the Lewis family wanted to invest money and do some of the things that have been echoed through other clubs over the last, well, since Abramovich, they could have done. They haven't already. So if you want substantial change, significant change, then you probably have to be on board. Not the outcome where the Lewis kids are going to, you know, they want to see what we all want, which is more wins. But that comes with certain outcomes that we haven't seen and we could have seen before now. Let's play hypothetical for the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We'll do 6 minutes. I've got 2 minutes of super chats to do. If it was to be a full sale, Johnny, is there any profile of owner that you would be against seeing or pro seeing? Not necessarily. Be careful how you say it, obviously, you know. But like, you know, morals to one side. Is it a case of, you know, would you have liked a Todd Bowley style revolution, or would you be okay with oil money? How would you like to see a new incarnation of Tottenham's ownership in a world where the ENIC children also were looking for a full sale?
Well, we would have had a Todd Bowley had it not been for the fact that Daniel refused to step down as chairman. He wanted to remain as chairman, therefore the deal fell through with Goldsmith and who brought Todd Bowley and Clearlake Capital in. So Chelsea could have, in fact, been us for the second time. Roman Abramovich could have been us for the first time. Todd Bowley could have been us for the second time.
But the specific incarnation of what the specific Todd Bowley version you've seen is a little bit different, though, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you know, the old adage, be careful what you wish for. You know, we've seen that with Jim Ratcliffe, with the Glazers, and how he's gone in there, got rid of people who have been working at the club for 30, 40 years, got rid of Alex Ferguson, cleansed the club, ripped out the soul of people who are part and parcel of the club. I wouldn't want to see that. I want to see someone come in who maybe has a passion for football. Look, let's not beat around the bush, Sean, right? If you think anyone's going to come in and invest billions of pounds and they're not interested in earning money, you're living in dream world, right? It's all about the buck. It's all about the money. But you can have a love for sport. You know, I would say the Fenway Group, for example, in my opinion, have put their money where their mouths are and have backed Liverpool. They backed the managers and they found success. I'd like to see someone who could come in now due to Daniel Levy's prudence and giving us fantastic PSR and FFP headroom, that we could get someone in now who could come in and spend huge sums of money. I don't particularly want blood. I don't particularly want blood money, or as you call it.
Let's not call it blood money. Let's call it.
Yeah, let's call it. Listen, I just would like someone who wants to take us. I'd like someone to take us.
Let's call it something else. Let's call it something else.
Let's call it oil money. Let's call it oil money.
Johnny,
Let's
can
call
I
it
ask you? Can I ask you a question on this? Right? Would you like something like the Cronkies, right? Because the Cronkies, their other football interests. They've won the NFL Super Bowl. They've won the Stanley Cup in ice hockey. They've won the NBA basketball trophy. They've won the lacrosse.
Exactly.
So someone that's got sporting pedigree that
Correct.
can run a business as well. I know they've only won an FA Cup at Arsenal, but let's be honest. If this team doesn't win anything this year, it's on the manager. It's not on the board.
I agree.
Would you like something like that at Spurs? They've got some
agree.
pedigree.
I agreed, and that's what I'm saying. You know, whilst the Cronkies are very much interested in success, they're also interested in making money, and that's for me is the winning combination. I don't want someone just to come in and see an opportunity to grab. Look, for me, an American company coming in, there is definitely an avenue here to have an American football team. White Webs will eventually become an NFL training center as well as a women's football team. I believe the future, there is a lot of headway and headroom for someone with money that wants to invest. And we all know that ENIC hasn't invested massively of its own money. They've done a fantastic job. They've raised the profile. It's now time for someone to come in with bigger and deeper pockets to come in and give the club. I think, look, as Lubo said before, perfect turnkey opportunity now. The stadium's there, everything's in place. Just need the money to come in now and buy the players, and we're off.
100%, Johnny. Stel, Lubo, I've got to capture it within a minute each, mate, because we've got 5.5 minutes before we got to round off. So I've got to do a couple of super chats as well. So Lubo, just what do you see going forward, mate? And as quick as you can, 60 seconds if possible, buddy.
I'll just repeat what I said to you a few weeks ago, Sean, when you asked me the same question. I think it was on your show. I think we need owners who understand sports, who are committed to winning. And of course, anybody who comes in and buys the club is going to be spending 3 or 4 billion, so that, you know, they're not coming in as a charity, they're coming in to make money. But as we saw the year of Madrid, 138 million net profits when Spurs reached the Champions League final. Wasn't quite what you consider footballing success because we were runners up. But in terms of financial success, that was amazing. And the two correlate. You know, the more successful you are with football, the more money you earn. So we're just going to have people in who understand what they're doing and want to win and bring the club together from top to bottom, because we haven't had that for 25 years. That's all.
Appreciate you, Lubo. Stel, 60 seconds, mate.
I don't care what ownership comes in, whether it's oil money, whether it's state-owned money, whether it's what you want to call legit money. I don't care. Football isn't as clean as people think it is. It's far from ethical. If it was ethical, no World Cup team would have gone to Qatar, but they did. Why? Because money talks. If football was ethical, then they wouldn't go to countries where we constantly receive racial abuse as a national team. But we do. Why? Because money talks again. So if there was ethics and morals, really, then these things wouldn't happen, but they do because money always prevails. So for me, I don't care about the owners as long as they put football first and they genuinely give it the best shot they can at bringing silverware to this football club. And I know for a lot of fans, that's not an acceptable stance, and fair play, but that's my stance on it because I think football, that's where it is now. And I don't see it suddenly cleaning up its act either. I think that's where we are with it. And I think it's actually going to intensify more as the game grows even more popular and more money piles into the game.
Yep. 100%. What a spicy show. Listen, I haven't really given, apart from the odd interjection with Stel, listen, my take on it is, thank you very much, Daniel Levy, for doing what I believe, my personal take is, a good job to get us to a place where we are now ready for the next leg, and he's not the guy to take us there. That doesn't mean that he didn't do a good job getting us to this platform, and we can now have a